In this video, I want to talk about the CAPM. But first, remember, when I'm pricing a stock or any financial asset, I need the present value of the expected future cash flows. I need to know the size, timing, and risk of those cash flows to do that. So the stock, the cash flows are going to be dividends in our kind of simple scenario. So here are the dividends, and the size, how big is this dividend, when does it occur in year 1, year 2, and so forth. But what I don't know is K. K is going to represent the risk of that stock. So how can I come up with a measure for the risk? And what I do is something called the capital asset pricing model, which a lot of people refer to as the CAPM. So how does that capital asset pricing model work? Well, it says something like this: the expected, and this E was did for what's in brackets, the expected return on Caspian Sea drinks. So expected return on Caspian Sea drinks is equal to the risk-free rate plus some sort of risk premium. And just logically think through that. If I'm going to invest in Caspian Sea drinks, they're risky, right? Well, I need to have a return above the risk-free rate. So I need to determine exactly what I can put here for that risk premium. How do I do that? Well, what the CAPM says is I do the following. Let me just write the whole thing out here. I want to get this clear and say the expected return on Caspian Sea drinks is equal to the risk-free rate, R sub F, F for free, the risk-free rate, plus the beta for Caspian Sea drinks times the expected return on the market minus the risk-free rate. So this is the CAPM. Let me explain each step of it. The risk-free rate will come from U.S. Treasury securities. For purposes of our class, we will tell you that risk-free rate's 3%, 2%, whatever it happens to be. The CAPM is very complex, so remember, this is just kind of the intro look at it. I'm not going to cover every detail. Just want to get you some intuition for it. This beta of Caspian Sea drinks tells me how much risk Caspian Sea drinks has. And how much risk, I mean how much market risk. So how does Caspian Sea drinks relate to the market? This term in brackets here is called the market risk premium. So this is, I want you to remember this, the expected return on the market minus risk-free rate is the market risk premium. And what I mean by that is the market is every tradable asset, but let's just say for our purposes the market is the S&P 500, which are the 500 largest stocks traded in the US. So let's say the S&P 500 is our market, and if I want to invest in the market in those 500 stocks, I need to have some premium above the risk-free rate. That is the market risk premium. I can't really tell you what that is for everybody because this is the expected return on the market for every. I need to know everyone's expectations. I need to know the marginal investor's expectations. I can't find that, but for our purposes, the market risk premium, the return on the market above the risk-free rate. If beta is equal to 1, so beta of the market is equal to 1. This is the average stock. Beta is going to tell me how much market risk a particular stock has. So for example, I can do something like the following. I can say, and I'm going to drop these E's for expected. I can say the return on Caspian Sea drinks is equal to 3% risk-free rate plus 1.5 for beta. If I say beta is 1.5, I'm saying that Caspian Sea drinks is riskier than the market. It's 1.5 times riskier than the market precisely. So it gives me exact estimate of how much risk is in Caspian Sea drinks. And then I can say I think the market return is 12%. I expect the market will return 12% over the next year, and the risk-free rate is 3%. This tells me, in other words, the risk-free rate is 3% plus 1.5. I need 1.5 times the average return for Caspian Sea drinks. The market risk premium is 9%. So my return for Caspian Sea drinks is going to be 0.03 plus 1.5 times 9, which is going to be 0.135. So for Caspian Sea drinks, I need a return of 16.5%. So let's just look back at this example one more time. All I'm saying is, with the CAPM, I need to find an expected return that represents the risk of my particular stock, in this case Caspian Sea drinks. I do that by estimating the level of riskiness of the stock, and that's my beta, and multiply that by the market risk premium, how much extra return I would have to get for the average stock. So a beta of 1.5 tells me I'm risky, and in order to take that risk, I'm going to need to have a 16.5% return. Now let's move that up and come up with another beta. Let's say that we look at the return for Caspian Sea drinks. We still say the risk-free rate is 3%. And I'm going to say the beta is equal to 0.7. So my beta is equal to 0.7, and my market risk premium is still 0.09. So if that's the case, Caspian Sea drinks is not as risky as the market. It's relatively safe. So if the beta was 1.5, it's relatively risky. If the beta is 0.7, it's relatively safe. And I can go through and do the math. 7 times 9 is 63. So this would be 0.063. And I would need to have a return of 9.3% in order to invest in Caspian Sea drinks. So when I come through here and I want to do the price of the stock, let me give you a better color. If I want to say the price of the stock is equal to D1 over K minus G, this would be the K. If beta is 0.7, this would be the K if beta is 1.5. And if it's a non-constant growth model, you have D1 over 1 plus K plus D2 over 1 plus K squared plus maybe D3 plus P3 over 1 plus K cubed, where P3 is equal to D4 over K minus G. So what you've done in the past, K was given to you. Here, K is calculated. That's all we need from CAPM. That and the fact that anything over 1 is relatively risky, anything less than 1 is relatively safe. Beyond that, it's just the equation that we've shown you, and that's all there is for the intro level to CAPM.